Hello and welcome to PoE For Dummies, Scarabs. In this one, I will cover all the changes to Scarabs recently made. We are going to do a little bit of an update, a smaller deep dive, and how they work for beginners, of course. So what are Scarabs? Scarabs are map influencing items that can drop randomly in the world. Whether you do any content in the maps, outside of maps, delving, incursion, so on, betrayal, these things can drop. There are around 100 scarabs to find and to use. Some, if you're playing in Trade League, are less expensive, some are more expensive. Some give you the ability to use a mechanic that you maybe do not want to choose on your Atlas passive skill tree, while others enhance the said mechanic if you use more scarabs at once. Now, to show you how scarabs work, you would first need a map. You would take a map, you will go to your map device, you would put a map in, you would put a scarab and another scarab in. If you want to do more scarabs, you can do so. If not, that's completely fine. Now, on some scarabs, you will see they have a limit on them. Limit basically means how many of the same scarab you can put, not how many of the type of the modifier influences things, but of the type of a scarab. So as an example, cartography scarab here has limit 2, but if you put it like this, it won't put 2. You would have to shift click it, choose the stack and put it like so. And then those will be consumed on map activation to give the bonuses of the map. To the map, sorry. Now, there are some specialized scarabs you cannot find in regular content, but you have to dig down deeper for them. As the 324 patch removed awakened sextants and things, now you can find, instead of them, you can find these scarabs called veiled scarabs. Veiled scarabs give you an unidentified scarab that you will identify by right-clicking and left-clicking it. So right-clicking, it will identify it, left-click, you will see what the scarab is. It can drop any of the variants that we have here. Unconfirmed if it can drop horn scarabs, but regular versions can drop fully. Now, to use a veiled scarab, it says on the tooltip, right click to reveal a random scarab, you reveal a scarab, and this is what you get. So as an example, this one contains Nico, which means you do not have to have Nico on your Atlas to gain him. Now, when it comes to farming these scarabs, you can do so in regular playthroughs. You will just have them drop unless you pick a specialized Atlas passives. More on that in just a bit. However, the only scarabs that drop exclusively from the world are these horned scarabs. Horned scarabs are specialized scarabs for certain things, and they boost the map a lot more. Now, I have a list here from Path of Exile's official website. I will link this in the description below so you can read what all they are. There's all of monster packs are magic. They have rare 2 additional modifiers. Other scarabs are not consumed on use. You can select one imbued crafting option. I will stop on this one for just a second. This one gives you specialized crafting options that disable prefixes on your maps, suffixes on your maps. How do you know those? Hold Alt and you will see what prefixes modifiers are, what suffixes modifiers are. And these can also be used in tier 17 maps, which are newly added maps. You have Tradition, Glittering, Pandemonium, and so on. This is a difference for returning players from what we had before. We had the regular 3 tiers, 4 tiers of scarabs, which is like bronze, silver, gold, and then winged scarabs. These all now have their own specific things. They're all labeled in their fragments tab, fragment scarabs tab, with the content that they are doing. As an example, reliquary, those are uniques. Nico, those are sulfite. Divination cards, those are there. Torment scarabs, and so on. This is to easily recognize which scarabs go with which content, and because there's a lot of them, you can use that. Now, you can use up to 4 scarabs in a map device if you have unlocked your 5th device map slot, the fifth slot is of course a map. If not, then you can use 3 scarabs. Now on to passives. Passives and how to find scarabs. I will also link this PoE wiki website where you can read all of the scarabs and what they do specifically. As this is a beginner video, this will not cover some specialized scarabs and what they do. I will cover that one either on stream or in a separate video after I'm done with PoE for Dummies beginner series. But there are some specialized scarabs that you can use to enhance the content further. Now, when it comes to scarabs on the passive skill tree, there are a lot of scarab drop points that we can get. Now, those are usually small points like these, 3% increased scarabs found in your maps, they drop a lot. They are some big, well, some notable points, not keystones yet, so some notable points that help you find scarabs. There are some blocking nodes to block specific scarabs. There are some nodes that give you extra scarabs of that type. And there are, of course, some that outright block finding scarabs. Let's go with regular ones. So if you pick regular ones, these points give 4% increased scarabs found in your maps, and those are basically everywhere. 3-pointers are just your passive walk through points and pointers. Now we have skittering swarms, which is increased scarabs found in your maps, 12%, just a drop. We have significant troves. Unique monsters in your maps have 200% increased chance to drop scarabs. This is all included in map bosses, delirium bosses, rogue exiles, June interventions, and other encounters. So there's a lot of unique mobs that you can get on the map. You can also mix and match with other scarabs. That's for advanced users, but unique monsters have increased chance to drop scarabs. Then you have in the middle part of your skill tree, Atlas passive skill tree, you have increased scarabs found, which is regular for percenters. And if you go from right to left, you have devoted carapaces. Scarabs dropped in your maps are 100% more likely to be domination scarabs. Those are scarabs for shrines. Then you have harbinger scarabs, ambush scarabs, anarchy, cartography, reliquary, torment, beyond, and essence scarabs. Now, every single thing you can do in Path of Exile can be sort of targeted with scarabs, but you can find all of them in the world. We will get to blocking at the end. Amplified artifacts on top left side of the tree, followed by 4% increased scarabs found, gives rare monsters in your maps have 50% increased chance to drop scarabs per monster modifier affecting them. Usually, magic monsters, which are blue monsters, have 1 to 2 modifiers affecting them. Rare monsters usually have from 2 to 4, 5, 6, depending on whether or not you have rolled your maps to have more modifiers, you've done ultimatum encounters that give more modifiers to them as well, and so on. So you can enhance how many modifiers they have. Of course, that raises their difficulty. On top right part of the tree, we have scarabs found in your maps are more likely to be less common varieties. I'll explain that in a second. And the final map boss in each map has 25% chance to drop an additional scarab. That's just to add more loot as well to map boss. These are all increased. Now, what does this mean? To be less common varieties. You have common varieties, which are usually on the left side of the Scarab tab, which is, as an example, area contains Einhar, contains additional red beasts. And then the last two, Copy of Beasts and Black Morrigan, are the ones that are not as commonly found, and also these all can be counted as more common compared to horned scarabs, which are counted as uncommon or less common variety. So you have the half right that are less common, and the horned scarabs, and of course these mysterious scarabs in bottom left part that are counted as less common varieties. So those can drop more. Now, there are blocking nodes, which are for different things that you do in the game. As an example, Secular Focus. Your maps have no chance to contain ritual altars, and you cannot find ritual scarabs. Those are all the same. Ritual, Blight, Ultimatum, Delirium, Legion, Harvest, Expedition, Abyss, and breach. This does not, however, reduce your chance of dropping scarabs. However, these remove the scarabs from the pool. They remove those types of scarabs, which basically means in turn that you get more of the other varieties, as these are blocked, but their chance to drop is not blocked. You have also rogue markers here, but there are no rogue markers and heist contract scarabs, so that's why this one is not in this highlighted area. So all of these, you cannot drop those, but because if you're dropping 10 scarabs a map, let's say, you are not going to drop these, you're going to drop the other ones. And of course, you have this one, unwavering vision. Your maps cannot be modified by fragments other than divine vessels, which means you cannot put scarabs or other fragments in it. Scarabs cannot be found in your maps. This one outright disables finding of any scarab in your map. So you cannot find any scarabs in your map, but it gives you 20 Atlas passive skill points. These are for specialized users and for specialized things to use. I do not recommend picking up this one for beginners, as this one outright disables everything scarab related. And last but not least, we have two influence scarabs here, which give Shaper and Elder influence. However, you cannot put Shaper, Elder, and Searing Exarch Eater of Worlds influence on the map. You can only put two influences on the map, so it can either be Searing Exarch and Eater, or Searing Exarch and Elder, or Searing Exarch Shaper. You cannot put these two and an influence here. Now, there's one more thing. Now, this is the actual last thing. That is, if you vendor 3 scarabs that are the same, as an example, 3 Elder Influence scarabs, you can get 1 random scarab from the bunch. So to do that, here it is, and we got Hunted Traitors, Scarab of Hunted Traitors. So I do not recommend doing this 3 for 1 thing, but if you are in SSF, that can help you find other scarabs. The reason why I don't recommend is you have so many scarabs from the pool that they can drop, that this might not be a viable option to you. Now that is going to be it when it comes to scarabs. I will make these videos cover one singular topic. These videos will all be updated on a regular basis whenever there's something new added like this one. So PoE For Dummies series is getting an update. Of course, there are a lot of videos though, so please be patient with me. If you have any questions, feel free to hop on the stream either on Twitch or on YouTube, or feel free to ask in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please do give it a like, sub if you don't mind. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun as much as I had making this video, and I will see you in the next PoE For Dummies series.